Welcome back, everybody. TB Sports 27 on the air with you. Well, we can't have that. That's going to be a big old copyright, so let's try to get past this. Actually, let me mute the game sound real quick, because that's going to be copyright city while we load these teams. But welcome in on this Saturday. We got some more Revolution Pro football for you guys. So buckle in. Hopefully, we're going to try to bring 2 games for you here on this broadcast. But there's no guarantees because we got a little time limit on ourselves. Because we're going to watch the USFL game starting at 3 o'clock. And it's a big game between the New Orleans Breakers and the Birmingham Stallions. 2 of the top teams in the South. And looking for... I'm a big Cal Sloter fan, seeing Sloter and company can hand the Birmingham Stallions their first loss. Zach Green is here. Welcome in, Zach. Glad to have you aboard. For some reason, when you go into season mode, it blasts copyrighted music left and right. So, we're going to jump in for one of possibly 2 games, and it's our next qualifying battle for the postseason. Now, we've played 3 games so far in the lost season of the Revolution Pro Football League, and every team that needed a win to qualify has won their game, if you can believe that. So that's a perfect 3-0, and they're going to see if they can have that happen once again here. It is going to be the Gainesville Clash going up against the St. Louis Rhinos. The Clash will be at home. The Clash coming into this game at 2-2. If they win, they make the postseason. Paul is here. Hashard is here. Welcome in, everybody. If the Clash win at 2-2, they make the postseason. If the Rhinos, they're at 1-3, no chance for them to make the postseason. So they are out of it. But you can see the names at the bottom of your screen. Tim Tebow and Walter Payton have been leading the way, as well as Lou Groza and others. John Elway, Gale Sayers for the St. Louis Rhinos. We've talked about that, how John Elway was drafted over to the St. Louis Rhinos after leading the Oklahoma City Bandits to Revolution Bowl 4, but the success has not matched yet for St. Louis as they started the season with 1-3, and Elway has not played his best. Obviously, we know in the future that John Elway is going to move on to quarterback the London Monarchs following this, but he's coming back for one last run here, and it's going to be the classic. We've seen this battle before, but we're going to see it again. Elway versus Tebow. The Broncos QBs going at it here tonight. So you take a look at the St. Louis Rhinos roster there. Elway, Sayers, Andre Reed coming in was supposed to be a big boost to this offense as well, as they took him from the defending 2-time league champions Huntington Beach. And, of course, the Gainesville Clash, which they lost many of their wide receivers in the draft as well, but they still got some old vets on the lineup, but it's been pretty much Tebow and Peyton this whole go of it. So let's jump into it. Yes, tomorrow night. Are you excited for tonight at least, Zach? We got In Your House tonight, which should be a big game. Big battle at In Your House. The championship, lots of championships on the line tonight. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the USFL game tonight between the Breakers and the Stallions. But here we go. We are underway in Gainesville. And, well, I did it again. Look at the clock. I don't know why this is happening. I've literally played this game for years, and I've literally never had to go in and load the settings. They've always just defaulted. So the fact that I'm having to do this every time is unsettling, and I just need to remember to do that every time, apparently. But that's never been a thing, so it's not at the top of my head. So pardon me again for the slight delay in that. But how you guys doing on this Saturday? Gainesville wearing the navy blues. They have a variety of uniforms. Gainesville will they switch between the navy blues and the powder blues, and they wear orange a lot as well. But here, just kind of went with the default.
Hey, John.
I haven't really looked at the unis that much. You can see the St. Louis Rhinos, the black and blue, which was the former colors. the Oklahoma City Bandits, and then they went over to St. Louis. All right, now we're back in it. Now I can do this for real. I forgot to mention, I said at the end of when teams got eliminated, I was going to let you know how they transitioned from this league into the RXFL. So we lost the San Antonio Dragons in our last game. They dropped to 1-4, and they will not be headed to the postseason. So for the Dragons, look at this. Look at this mighty kick return. He needs a block, and that's going to do it. This should be an opening kickoff touchdown for the Gainesville Clash, who need the win to go to the postseason. What an unbelievable kick return. Henry Ellard launched the battleships. The Gainesville Clash, they've gone through a number of different logo changes too. Originally, they started off as this like zooming bird. Then we went to the wasp design for a couple of seasons, and then here this season they went to the hammer. Dropped the hammer, but they've always maintained the powder blue, the orange, and navy. Of course, they're orange and navy for season 1. Trying to capitalize off of not only the colors of the Florida Gators, but Tim Tebow's time with the Denver Broncos, with the orange and navy. And then they added the powder blue as they would move on. But yeah, so the San Antonio Dragons, they're going to turn in, of course, to the San Antonio Marshals as part of the RXFL. It's pretty simple. They were one of the teams. They transitioned over to the new league, and there were talks about maintaining the history, that Dragons history, but since everyone's kind of starting over from scratch, they decided they wanted to jump in and start over from scratch. Many of the same front office members, but a couple different front office members as well. And they went through a couple different name ideas. Of course, Dreadnoughts was out there, but they settled on the San Antonio Marshals. But it's essentially the same squad that was the Dragons for the last couple of years. So 7-0 for Gainesville as John Elway, future London Monarchs quarterback, steps onto the field here. And he's already looking at a deficit. Elway going to complete that one out to Taylor. And it'll be a first down for the Rhinos. You're going to see, and we already kind of announced it a little bit, the St. Louis Rhinos are going to be a part of the RXFL. The St. Louis Vikings, formerly. But we decided to bring a couple of our teams over, and we're going to bring the Rhinos over as well. The handoff to Gale Sayers. Gale Sayers, he was a big topic of conversation as well with the Rhinos. He had a great season last year, season 4. But when the draft came up, the Rhinos got the Gold Star pick from Oklahoma City. And a lot of people thought that St. Louis maybe should have taken Emmitt Smith. If you look at Emmitt Smith's stats on Patreon, the season 4 stat book, you can see the incredible season 4 that Emmitt Smith had going into the postseason. A lot of people thought you team up Emmitt Smith along with Troy Aikman, who was the quarterback. So that would be a recipe for success. Instead, they wanted to go with the quarterback that led them to the championship in John Elway, and instead we got to see that pairing over in Oklahoma City. So Gale Sayers remained. They liked Gale Sayers. They wanted to stay with him. And the rest is history, and here we are. Cleaners here. What a crew. We got Cleaner, we got Paul Bear, we got Zach Green. Everyone joining in. So we're going to play some football today, but folks, I'm planning on tomorrow, if all goes according to plan, if nothing comes up tomorrow, we are going to stream WWE 2K22 tomorrow. Give you guys a little football breaks. We have been doing a lot of football on the channel. Nothing for Gale Sayers in the early going of this game. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be our next episode of Universe Mode, WWE Raw. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. Planning on that. You couldn't get the relocation to work? You have to be a team owner, right? And then you get this to season 4. I don't know. It worked in my game. I'm on Madden 20. You have to be a owner. You get to season 4, and then it gives you the option unblocked, and Elway is gonna get quarterback sacked. Art Donovan. How much does that guy weigh? Look at this. You can't unblock Art Donovan. That was horrible for the St. Louis Rhinos. So they're going to have to punt this one away to the Clash. Art Donovan came in untouched. We saw Donovan in our last stream. He is going to join the Tampa Bay Mutiny. So he goes from up north, down south, down where? Down south. Speaking of South Florida, man, I live in Florida. And if anyone else is a Florida resident, it just missed us. But boy, South Florida's getting hit by some of those storms. So hopefully they're doing all right. I saw some of the videos from down in Miami and stuff, and it is, they are in rough shape with the weather they got down there. All right, 1st and 10. The Gainesville Clash, a very run-heavy team. Of course, Walter Payton and Tim Tebow, but they will throw it at times. They've been to the playoffs twice, or maybe 3 years, I think. I want to say they went the last 3 years. I have to look at the Patreon stuff.
Watch out for the play action.
But much the opposite of the Ann Arbor team, where they would like to run the ball a lot more, led by Tim Tebow. And that's kind of why this team ended up in Gainesville. Oh, Walter Payton, did he stay in bounds? They're going to say he did. And Payton, not quite enough speed. He's going to get tackled down at the 24, but a big-time run by Walter Payton. Wow, let's see. Did he stay in bounds? They could challenge this. Oh, it's so hard to tell from that angle. Let's see if the challenge flag comes out.
Okay. Coach,
but yes, when this team, you know, every new football league always has a Florida team, and there are many debates of where the Florida team is going to go. You know, Orlando was talked about, of course, as a common destination, and you know, they were able to make the signee of Tim Tebow to bring him back to pro football.
How do you like sweetness, baby? I'm guessing you don't want any more to do with me.
I lost the play I wanted. Okay, hold on. Well, I lost it. Okay, whatever. So yes. So Tim Tebow came, and they decided to put the team in the swamp in Gainesville, Florida, and they've been pretty successful, but obviously you'll see in the future that this team is going to turn into North Florida, still representing the Gainesville area with the North Florida Cheetahs. That's going to be the future of this team. We could have named them the Gainesville Cheetahs, of course, but they kind of wanted to make it, you know, kind of a traveling team where they would represent that Jacksonville, Gainesville, Tallahassee area rather than just the area of Gainesville. So Tim Tebow, he's going to take off and try to run it. He gets about 2 yards before he gets brought down. By the way, you can sim 10 years and relocate, specifically 4 months. No, you can do it 4 months in. Or not 4 months, but for like 4 weeks or something like that. It's really early that you can do it. It's like 4 or 5 weeks or something. But I know it worked on my game. Obviously, I wish, you know, in Madden we can just create any teams we wanted. The fact that you even have to go through this process cleaner is kind of terrible. Walter Payton, he got his shoelaces grabbed, but that was about it in Gainesville. Going up big. The Tebow-Elway matchup. It's 13-0. And again, for teams that can qualify for the postseason, they're 3-0 so far, looking to go 4-0. Look at that. Walter Payton untouched except for his shoelaces. And touchdown scored by the Gainesville Clash. The great Lou Groza on to attempt your extra point here for Gainesville. And Tebow looking to send his Clash to the postseason. They have not made the championship yet. They were close last season. They made it to the semifinals after a huge overtime win in the postseason against the Birmingham Maulers. They were 1 win away, but they met the Ann Arbor Annihilators, and it was rushing versus passing, and passing won out. It was a pretty high-scoring game, but it was indeed the Annihilators that would win, and they would go on to win their first league championship. People had them pegged to win league championships way ahead of time, way early on, and it took till season 5. They didn't even win a playoff game until season 5. They got eliminated in the first round, or season 4. This is season 5, right? They got eliminated in the first round 3 years in a row, which was unbelievable. And finally, in season 4, they got to the big game and won it all. And then the draft happened, and There want all the players dispersed. Are you doing online or offline? Oh, all offline. I don't have any online capabilities for PlayStation. Don't pay for it, don't have it. Elway. Andre Reed is open, and he catches the ball at the 49. And smack talk down on the field there.
Come on, D. We got to stop their passing game.
They're getting fired up now at the clash, the defense, after Elway had that big pass go by. Elway dropping back. Threw that one a little early before his man could make his break. But it falls incomplete to the turf. Elway versus Tebow. A battle we never got, but you're getting it here. Former boss versus quarterback Andre Reed. Once again. Many nice catches for Reed. You see him lining up again. Gale Sayers in the backfield. John Elway. And the give is to Sayers. And Sayers, who had a couple of monster outings last season. And again, we'll do that quick plug right now on Patreon, TV Sports 27, if you want to check out the link down below. We have all the classic content up there. You can unlock it all for as little as $5. You get all the stuff from our old YouTube channel. Gale Sayers breaking loose. We're going to do a exclusive Patreon stream, our first exclusive Patreon stream, where we are going to determine the seedings for these playoff teams. So if you want to see how that ends up, you got to check it out on Patreon. But not only do we have all the classic content on there, we have stat books. And that's why we're hyping it up here, because if you want to see these teams, if you're a fan of our old YouTube channel, maybe you remember some of these teams, but for those of you that don't, if you want to see it, you can go back to episode 1 of the All-Pro 2K8, and you can see a little preview of what we got on Patreon. But we got 5 stat books up on Patreon right now, and that field goal is going to be no good. We've seen some rough kicks here for this extra season, this lost season, and maybe the players just haven't had the time to get it back together. But we have all the stat books up there, 5 years worth of stat books, detailed stats from each game, the scores. If you're a stat junkie, that's what you want to check out. We also have the classic content. We have all the episodes from the Denver Broncos from Madden 12 from our old YouTube page up on Patreon. We have the 2 years of the BCS playoffs that we did. Of course, the original run of it, we still have that YouTube page up. That hasn't been purged yet, but we have the other 2 seasons up, and we have the episodes that we had of the Huntington Beach Killer Whales franchise. So not only are you getting the classic content, not only are you getting the stat books, but we also have our super fan and our mega fan tier. And that's where you can become a stream requester. So if you want to see more baseball, if you want to see more hockey, if you want to see more wrestling, if you want to see basketball, that's where you can do it. Super fans and mega fans have the ability to request whatever stream they want. So check us out on Patreon if you want to have the power and show some support to the channel. That's the place to do it. Tim Tebow completing it to Byram. First down. Check him out. What a throw. What a cannon. Real gunslinger, right? This should be the final play here of the first quarter. We'll see it ticking down quick. We might not even get this play off. I don't think we're going to make it. Oh, we did make it. Wow. And Walter Payton, it's a good thing they did. 9-yard pickup. You went 10 years forward in Madden. How does Madden look in 10 years? What do the rosters look like? End of the first. It's all Gainesville in this one. The clash. Dominating the Rhinos. 14-0. We head to the second quarter. 2nd and 1. And Tebow takes it. And he's got the first down. And you're seeing the continued struggles of this St. Louis Rhinos team. That's why they're 1-3, despite the fact that they have Gale Sayers and Revolution Bowl runner-up John Elway. Gainesville Clash did have Icky Woods. It was a pretty powerful three-headed monster between Icky Woods at fullback. Of course, you had Walter Payton and then Tim Tebow running the ball. But
hey, I ain't trying to lose y'all.
Icky Woods got drafted away.
Is this a great drive?
2nd down and 11. Tebow throws it, incomplete. Thought he had it. So 3rd and 11.
3rd and 11 from the Rhino 13-yard line.
Anytime they force Gainesville to throw it, it can be an adventure. Tebow is going to run it. Oh, I think he was hoping for a block, but his receiver didn't see he was going to run. If he could have had that block, that might have been at least a first down for the Clash. But that block didn't happen, and Tebow went down. So St. Louis holds them, and they'll go for the field goal here. Groza is good. 17-0 Clash over the Rhinos. .8:26 to play in the second here. We're at the Swamp in Gainesville, Florida. Season 5, the lost season of the RPF, Revolution Pro Football. And here comes John Elway, the blue and silver. Boy, Elway trying to look for something too, and he's going to end up getting taken down. Art Donovan. He's playing well today. And it's interesting, you get, a new player joining a team, and it takes a while for that chemistry to happen, and it hasn't happened yet for Elway and the Rhinos, despite many successful seasons with Oklahoma City.
3rd and 10 from the Rhino 28-yard line.
He joined the league in season 3 after the expansion Rhinos came about. And the Rhinos were able to sign Troy Aikman to a free agent contract, and that's how they signed John Elway. And of course, that first year, the historic year for Oklahoma City with Elway, they went 0-5, and then they went 5-0. They finished 5-5, just missing the postseason. And then in season 4, that's when Elway and Smith got into the championship game. And then the Rhinos drafted Elway, and that sent Troy Aikman back to Oklahoma City. And there's where he is. Now, of course, he is in Troy Aikman in the middle of a quarterback controversy in the RXFL with the Houston Voyagers. As it's been Boomer Esiason starting in Houston, but people want to see Troy. Troy Aikman. So far, all Gainesville in this one, and Walter Payton once again. They have not been able to stop the Gainesville offense. The best they've done is held them to that field goal on that last drive. 2nd down and 2, and Tebow right up the middle. Tim Tebow for the first down. So fast and so quick, and no answers. And the Clash can lull you to sleep. It's almost like that old you know, like the Bills and the Giants Super Bowls, old Bill Parcells Giants teams, just run the ball, pound the rock. I watched one game this morning. You know, I always talk about NFL Throwback, my favorite YouTube page. I watched the Giants-Chiefs game. Man, Tiki Barber was on fire. Second down and 3. There it is again. Tebow right up the middle. And it's a first down for the Clash. You got to try to get that middle of the field locked up if you're on the Rhinos side. Of course, the Rhinos cannot make the postseason. They are eliminated, but they're trying to eliminate the Clash. We mentioned earlier, teams trying to qualify for the postseason are a perfect 3-0. Gainesville, they're looking to go 4-0.
2nd and 6 from the Rhino, 29 yards.
Second down and 7 for Gainesville. And they're going to throw it. Tebow incomplete. That should have been caught. I don't know what happened there. They tried to toss a passing play.
3rd and 6.
Passing play, and it didn't work out for him. I decided to drop the sim at the first week of the 2021 regular season. Nice. Which Madden are you playing on, by the way? Tebow's gonna run it. There he goes. First down. Tim Tebow. Hoping to get his team to a league championship. Of course, we know, I believe he's going to retire after this because he's not in the RXFL at all. I would like to get him in the league, though. That'd be fun, you know? Oh, Madden 21. It should still be in Madden 21. I don't know. Maybe Google. I'm not sure. The handout to Peyton. Walter Payton just got shoved to the turf, and they're eating up time. That's part of this running offense of the Gainesville Clash. They tear up the clock.
It's going to be tight triple, strong G-toss. And
when Tim Tebow gets fired up. The new Madden's coming out. We're starting to hear new news about the new Madden. Madden 23 right around the corner. And originally, I mentioned I was all set to buy it. I was going to pick up Madden 23, with my main reason being there had been so many uniform changes that I felt like it was time. But now, as I mentioned, I hear that the PS5 Pro, rather, is coming out either 2023 or 2024. That's like 2 years away. So now I'm thinking about just waiting. Tebow catches it. Touchdown, Gainesville. So now I'm thinking, where originally I was going to buy Madden 23, now I'm thinking of waiting until the PS5 Pro comes out, because I hope that'll make either the PS5 or the PS5 Pro easier to find. It's still insanely impossible to find a PS5, which is crazy. Like, they're already coming out with the Pro, and like, I've literally never seen, other than when I was in Canada, in Toronto, I have never seen a PS5 on store shelves anywhere in Florida, anywhere. They like don't exist. So so where I was gonna buy Madden 23, now I'm almost thinking I might just wait till the PS5 Pro comes out. Hopefully it'll be easier to come by, and then I can get the new Madden, the new hockey, and all that stuff from there. So it might be a little bit longer with Madden 20. But, you know, if the Madden gods ever let us bring our save file over, I'll certainly buy the new game every year. But I like to play multiple years in multiple seasons, and you can't do that with a game that comes out every year. And plus, if I only buy it every couple of years, it actually feels like a new game. Or if you buy Madden every year, it feels like the same old game over and over. I know you hear that all the time. Elway throwing that one into all kinds of traffic. It is 24-0, by the way. Tim Tebow and the Gainesville Clash running over the St. Louis Rhinos right now.
2nd and 10. Ball at the
I don't know where it is in 22. I'm not sure. Yeah, see what Google says or do a YouTube search. It should be pretty easy to come by. Elway sacked. Sean Gideon. And once again, the Rhinos might be going to... So we've had all pretty much close games so far. We're on the verge of this being our first blowout. Nice catch by Taylor. First down, St. Louis. They have life, folks.
First down, Rhinos.
Part of the struggles of the Rhinos, Gale Sayers has been quiet in this one, where he normally kind of takes control of this game. And since he's been so quiet, it's held this offense in check. And there again, Sayers. Can't get much on the ground game. So anytime that makes you one-dimensional, you can't run the ball, you got to pass it. It's going to be easier for the defense. Elway just has to dump it off to Branch. This Gainesville defense has come to play today, folks. And the way things are going, we're going to have a stacked postseason. We could have had as little as 8 teams. We could have had as little as maybe 7 or 6 teams. But the way this is going, we might have 11 teams in the postseason. Branch going to be about a yard short. And St. Louis, they're going to go for it. They say, what the heck? Time ticking away, too, in the second. And there's Gale Sayers. Oh, couldn't get the block he wanted, but they do get the first down. That gives the Rhinos a little bit of life. They will get the ball to begin the second half. Remember the opening kickoff that Gainesville got the score. Elway going deep. He's got an open man. Novacek out of bounds. And we got a flag on the play. Might be a hold. Elway just overthrew that one a little bit.
Flipping, number 69, offense. Repeat, first down.
Flipping against the Rhinos. That seems to get called quite often in this game. So big penalty. It's going to back St. Louis up. 25 seconds left. I think they'll take any points at this stage in the game. Andre Reed, the grab, and out of bounds. 64 yards for Andre Reed. Nice job by the whole AFC veterans out there.
People,
John Elway and Andre Reed.
Second and 15 from the Rhino, 44 yards.
And Elway's going to take another sack. I don't think Tim Tebow's been sacked at all in this one. Third and long for the Rhinos. And once again, there you go. And that is going to do it for the first half. A dominant performance from the Gainesville Clash. And the St. Louis Rhinos, they have been one of the more successful expansion franchises. They've been to the postseason in their first 2 years. They had some really good records. But here, since making the move to get Elway, it has not worked out for him. And the difference in yardage right there. 156 on the ground for the Clash. 15 on the ground for the Rhinos. So here we are into the second half. We're doing pretty good on time, so maybe we can bring you the next game. And we'll be able to get one more game. And then after this, I'm going to be watching more football. USFL game. Hope you guys tune in too. New Orleans and Birmingham. It should be a good one. The first time those two played, it was big hype. Boy, I think quietly too, the New Jersey Generals, man. Everyone's talking about Birmingham, but Jersey, they've only got one loss on the year, and that was to Birmingham. So they're looking really good. Wouldn't that be something? The game that kicked off the league could be your league championship.
He picks up 7 on the play. Credited with the tackle.
The give to Sayers, and I think he might have gotten his number of total yards from the first half on that run right there. First down, St. Louis. Now, no lead is safe in this league. We have seen many a big leads in Revolution Pro Football over the years, including the historic Season 1 playoff game between Huntington Beach and Ann Arbor. Intercepted. Rather, that would be Huntington Beach and Salt Lake City. Ann Arbor played Dragons in the first season. That was Huntington Beach and Salt Lake City, where Huntington Beach had a 30-0 lead in the fourth quarter, and Salt Lake City would score 40 points. It ended up getting the win. If you want to see how that all went down, check it out on Patreon. It's in the stat books, Season 1 stat book, if you want to see all the stats and numbers from that game. That is up on Patreon, TV Sports 27. As we mentioned in our last couple of streams, we'll mention one more time. This will be as good a time as any to help a poor kid out, because I got hit with a $500 bill recently for my car. Needed some sudden repairs. Bad spark plug and cylinder. Down goes Tebow. And $500 later, there we are. So, plus, not only $500 later, but we just passed June 1st. It is June 4th, which means it was time to pay rent. So, you take into account $1,500 of rent and $500 in car repairs. And, oh, what a catch! Pete Fios. And what a throw by Tebow. That was big business throw. How about that? But yeah, so $2,000 gone just like that. And you best believe most Americans aren't making that much from their paycheck. So there you go. All right.
He picks up 7 on the play. Banks credited.
Another decent run there by Walter Payton.
2nd and 2 from the Rhino, 31-yarder.
2nd down and 3 for the Clash. Payton takes it again. Good blocking on the outside. Payton, oh, tried to hit the stiff arm. And he got shoved out of bounds.
He picks up 1 on the play. Browner credited with the tackle.
3rd and 2.
3rd and 1.
Tim Tebow, 71 yards through the air. That passer rating. Delayed handoff to Payton, and he pushes forward. 1st down, Gainesville. All Clash in this one. And they're going to have a huge advantage in this game. As we said, point differential. We're going to have a lot of teams that are going to be 3 and 2. And so the way we're going to seed them is points. Most points scored against most points against. This is going to be a net gain of 24 for the Gainesville Clash if this score holds up. It's going to be one of the bigger blowouts. That's going to be a huge advantage in the Clash getting a top seed, as Tebow's going to get sacked, and away at the 41, they'll look to punt this one away. So, yeah, they're going to be in a big advantage, and you might see another. Oh, this was 3rd down. Well, we'll see what the computer does. I thought this was 4th down. But we'll see how the computer handles this play, because I switched sides already thinking it was 4th down. Oh, and Tebow's going to run it. Well, there you go. I might do an NHL team. Yeah, play NHL. We got to get back to our hockey, by the way. Thank you for reminding me, Cleaner. We got to finish our Detroit Red Wings. We're in the 2nd round. And, of course, in real life, NHL getting close to the championship game. The Rangers and the Avalanche looking like that might be your teams. You can believe that. What an interesting... That just rolled into the end zone. Holy smokes. That would be an interesting finals. The Rangers and the Avalanche. But who knows? A lot can still happen. Tampa Bay can wake up. Edmonton can wake up. Play action fake. Elway. Caught by Andre Reed. And if he could have broken loose, that might have been the first score of the game for St. Louis.
We're shutting you down, baby. You can't move the ball. Down.
Gale Sayers. having some of his bigger runs in this game in the second half. Yeah, custom teams are fun. It took, if you remember, I was going to do a league similar to this where I had all, you know, a custom NHL league, the XHL, but it took so darn long to make all the players. And, not the players, but like the team, and the color coding, like for the uniforms, just didn't really work quickly like I had hoped. Maybe one day I'll go back to it. I always mention that a lot. Maybe one day. And also I messed up the rosters too, because you really only need like 20 or 25 players. But like when I was drafting, and I should have realized that, you know, as long as I watch hockey, I should have realized that. But when I was drafting, you could have like a maximum. So I was drafting for like 40 player roster. And so I was going through all that work, and then I realized, I was like, oh, I don't even need to do this many. So that wasted a lot of time. So maybe one day we'll revisit the XHL, but that was also one of my lower rated streams back in my Twitch days. Whenever we would do the XHL, I thought that was something a lot of people were going to jump into and kind of be into, like helping with the creation of uniforms and team names and logos and roster and all that. But that was like one of the lower rated Twitch streams that I had done in my time. So I decided to go ahead and scrap it for the time being. But as I said, maybe someday in the future we will revisit the XHL and do our Legends hockey, because it was going to be all Legends too, like the football in Madden is going to be an all Legends roster as well. But, like I said, the views were not there. The people did not seem to be into it too much, so away it went. I'll have to stream on Twitch again too one of these days, just to switch it up. We originally went to Twitch for a while, but again, we weren't getting the views that we were getting here on YouTube. The YouTube fan base, pretty exceptional. St. Louis was trying to get their first points of the ball game. Gainesville's going to hold tight, so they'll go ahead and settle for a field goal to at least get 3 and make it a 3-touchdown game. And that is straight through the middle. Perfect. St. Louis on the board. Clash. 24. Rhinos 3. Evan Epstein. We said a busy sports Saturday. My Cubs are playing right now. I got the USFL game coming up. There's going to be an indoor football game tonight too. My Iowa Barnstormers will be playing. Well, this isn't going to help St. Louis. This big kick return by Henry Ellard. Doing it up big. We also have NXT In Your House tonight too. So I got 2 football games. I got In Your House. And then tomorrow is Hell in a Cell. I gotta remember to eat somewhere in all of this. Walter Payton 121 on the ground in this one. Pretty phenomenal.
Second and 9 from the Rhino. 46.
Can St. Louis make the comeback? Tim Tebow outshining John Elway right now. Tebow completes it to Dart. First down Clash. And Tim Tebow had guys right in his face. Look at that. You know, people call him out, the Tebow throw. The wobbler throw. But he completes it. The Clash are going to throw it again. Oh, Tebow gets sacked. They came in fast. When is your next pay-per-view? It is Extreme Rules, and it will be in 2 Universe Mode weeks. So if we play Raw tomorrow, that would be another 3 streams after that would be Extreme Rules. So it's coming up. Of course, it features the big Hell in a Cell, part 1 of 2 Hell in a Cell matches. Edge versus Mustafa Ali, the Intercontinental Championship at Extreme Rules. And then the WWE Undisputed Championship, as Tebow, very smart, throws that one away incomplete. That will be at SummerSlam. So, pretty stacked card we got coming up for Extreme Rules.
3rd and 13 from the Rhinos.
3rd and 14 for the Clash. Completes it to Ellard. Tebow's been on fire today with his throws. Pretty well covered, too. You see a lot of Rhinos right there. That is the end of the 3rd quarter. Gainesville about to put more points on the board. They are running away with this game. They are all over St. Louis. 24-3. What a way for the St. Louis Rhinos to conclude their time. But the team, as we announced, will live on. Oh, Tebow with the QB sneak. Couldn't get it that time. A yard shy. Touchdown, Walter Payton. We got our first blowout, folks. $30-3. I think we will have time. The way this is going, we'll have time to bring you another game. Because we'll have an hour before the USFL game starts that I want to see. So the next game on the docket after this is going to be the Columbus Crusaders and the Windy City Ragin' Rabbits. And this is going to be the first time we will actually have a game where somebody can get eliminated. It is going to be a 2-2 team against a 2-2 team, meaning the winner goes to the playoffs and the loser goes home. This game's scheduled to be at Wrigley Field, the Wrigley Bowl, and Columbus playing in their first year. And they're going up against the Windy City Ragin' Rabbits, who have been in the league for 2 years. They have yet to make the postseason, led by Bubby Brister at quarterback. And then after that, our remaining games, a game where both teams will be able to make the playoffs no matter what. It is going to be the Portland Ironmen, who are at 3-1, and the Tennessee Toxic. So that would be a game to determine seeding, pretty much. If you get that 4 wins, you're going to pretty much be top of the lineup and get the first round bye. And then our finale, the Omaha Firebirds, who will look to get into the postseason for the first time in league history. The 5th season they have not made it to the playoffs, going up against the expansion Atlantic City Eclipse. I think every team's made the playoffs at least once except Omaha, not counting the expansion teams of the original 8. Man, nobody open. Elway is going to run with it here. Birmingham's been there, Huntington Beach, Gainesville. Windy City is not, but they're one of the expansion teams. Yeah, every team except the expansion teams have made the playoffs at least one time. So Omaha, if they can get the win, the Firebirds can finally do it. So since we're kind of winding down here and it's looking like that St. Louis is going to take the big loss, we can now get into we talked about, we're going to let you know how all the teams transition over into our XFL team. So we kind of already told you, Salt Lake City, there's a falling out in management. There was a front office falling out with a lot of the anger over the fact that the Fury went to the first 2 league championships, and then they struggled to make the playoffs every year after that. They had Joe Montana. So management split, and half the management stayed in Salt Lake City. The other half of the management would end up coming to St. Louis, and they would join with the Rhinos organization. So you're going to see a color swap. The team that was, originally a Salt Lake City Fury, they were gold and purple. The front office that was with Salt Lake City that went to St. Louis, they brought the gold and purple with them. So you're going to see those old Viking uniforms. In fact, I think we might even do the Brett Favre era Viking uniforms. And you're going to see the St. Louis Rhinos in the RXFL. So we were calling them the St. Louis Vikings. We're officially going to call them the St. Louis Rhinos going forward. And they're going to take the color scheme from Salt Lake City. They're going to have the Viking horns on their helmet, which we're going to, be like the rhino horn. And it's going to be the St. Louis Rhinos, but they're going to wear the purple and gold of the Salt Lake City Fury. Meanwhile, there's going to be the Salt Lake City Fury that remains in Salt Lake City, but there's going to be management also from St. Louis as the Salt Lake City management came in. The management from St. Louis will get pushed out. They're going to relocate to Salt Lake City, and they are going to bring the colors with them, the black and the blue and also the yellow. The original colors, the St. Louis Rhinos, wore blue and yellow in the early days, trying to look like the St. Louis Rams, and then they eventually went to the black and blue and silver color scheme, but they're going to bring the blue and yellow from them, so it's almost like a palette swap, if you will, as the Rhinos are going to send their colors up to Salt Lake City, or I should say down to Salt Lake City, to the left of Salt Lake City, and Salt Lake City is going to take their colors and bring it to St. Louis. So St. Louis, they're going to rebrand as the St. Louis, well, they're going to stay the St. Louis Rhinos, but they're going to take the purple and gold, and the Salt Lake City Fury, they're going to rebrand as the Salt Lake City Elks, and because they're going to use the animal, the rhinos, the elk, the team with the horn, the team with the big antlers. So they're going to take that. They're going to go to Salt Lake City. They're going to rebrand as the Salt Lake City Elks, and they're going to bring the colors from the St. Louis Rhinos, the blue and yellow, and there you go. So basically, it's going to be interesting when we see the Elks and the Rhinos play. It's essentially going to be management from the same front offices, and it was a color swap. Elway incomplete. So that is the history, and that is how the St. Louis Rhinos come to be in the RXFL and how they come to wear the purple and gold, and that is how the Salt Lake City Elks would come to be and why they have the blue and yellow.
Let's go! Everybody do that go! Everybody make a duck!
3rd down and goal. Elway just barely gets rid of it, falls incomplete. And St. Louis is going to go ahead and try to go for the touchdown.
9 yards.
Incomplete, flat out dropped. Elway delivered it, and it was dropped. They're going to say Mike Carroll had something to do with it, but I don't know. That was just a drop right there. So on this day, Tim Tebow is going to outplay and dominate John Elway. And I want to say that I'd have to look at the stats on Patreon. That's a little plug for Patreon again. I'd have to look for those stats, but I think that might have been the end result before, too, when Tebow and Elway played amongst each other. So Gainesville will look to run out the clock here.
Banks credited with the tackle. He loses 4 yards on the play.
And we'll be able to bring you a second game, so we'll stop this stream. I'll take a moment to write down the stats, and then we are going to bring you the first playoff elimination game thus far. So as we said, teams that need to qualify for the postseason, with Gainesville about to win here, they will be a perfect 4-0. No team that had a chance to qualify has missed qualifying. That is going to change in our next game. The Columbus Crusaders and the Windy City Ragin' Rabbits both at 2-2. And the losing team will be eliminated. The winning team will head to the postseason. And then after that, we'll be down to our final 2 games. And then we'll be able to start the playoffs. So pretty exciting stuff here in the lost season. Glad we were able to bring this back. And at least for those of you that were with our original YouTube channel, got to see a conclusion to this season that initially wasn't going to have a conclusion to it. Incomplete. Like I said, once everything kind of got purged, we kind of stopped, and we ended up just kind of doing things with the PS4. But glad that we'll be able to at least finish out this season. And as I mentioned, I would keep playing this game, but the thing that that stops me is how difficult it is to have more than 8 teams. And even though in Madden you can't create your own teams, you can at least have more than 8 of them, as long as you're in franchise. And then the fact that there was that roster that had all the legends, a stacked legends roster, is kind of appealing to me, where in this game you only have a couple of legends, which is kind of cool, but it's also kind of cool to have an entire roster of legends on 32 teams as well. So definitely we'll have fond memories of these teams and these rivalries, but we're going to make new rivalries and teams as we transition over to Madden. And we're going to make history so these teams can kind of live on, if you will, with the new league, where some of the names might be going away, but the teams are still going to be around. Like the St. Louis Rhinos are still going to be around as well. They're going to have a new color scheme, and Salt Lake City's still going to be around. San Antonio, they're going to be around. They're just going to be known as the Marshalls now instead of the Dragons. And a lot of these players still around too. Elway, of course, is going to move on to quarterback the London Monarchs. The Gainesville Clash is still going to be around, but they're going to be the North Florida Cheetahs, which is not only a callback to our original league, the SFL, which was the Orlando Cheetahs, but it's going to be the Tim Tebow bringing back. You know, he grew up in Jacksonville, so that Jaguar classic color scheme, the teal and black and gold, as well as representing all of North Florida, not just Gainesville, but representing Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Gainesville. But they're in rough shape. They got Johnny Unitas as their quarterback, and he's the current quarterback of the Ironmen. Touchdown! There you go. First touchdown of the game for the Rhinos. That was Cliff Branch who made up for it. He dropped the pass earlier. The really bad drop. But he makes that grab. So the Rhinos, too little too late, but they get points on the board.
Are attempting a two-point conversion.
Cleaner's dad, yes. I want to see Cleaner's dad come in the chat. I love it. Elway, incomplete. Looking for the 2, the deuce, as they call it in the indoor league. So St. Louis will attempt an onside kick here. Picked up by Gainesville. Of the teams we mentioned last time, but of the teams you guys have seen so far, what are your predictions for the playoffs? Who do you think's looking the best? Who's going to make the best run? St. Louis is going to call a bunch of timeouts for no reason here. What team has impressed you the most thus far? Obviously, Gainesville looked really good here if their ground game plays well. We also saw New York looked really good. They put 50 up on the board. As we said, Gainesville is going to have a huge advantage as far as the point differentials. With this knee, I think we could pretty much safe to say this one might be over. So we're going to call it here because we'll take a knee instead of sitting here for 2 minutes. It's going to be the Clash to take the win. So 31-9 is going to be your final. The Gainesville Clash will take it. We're going to take a brief pause here, folks. We're going to write down the stats for our stat book. We're going to take a pause, and then we're going to come right back with the doubleheader. It is going to be the Windy City Ragin' Rabbits and the Columbus Crusaders going at it. Both teams are at 2-0. They 2-2, and they both need a win to qualify for the postseason. So stay where you are, stay tuned, and we will be right back in probably 5 to 10 minutes with our next game. So stay right there.